Joining us now is Genevieve Adams. Welcome to the show, Genevieve. Nice to have you here. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you, Donna. Nice to be with you.
So, I just found out that you grew up in Manhattan. So, you've always had your, I guess, finger on the pulse, if you will, on the industry. So, at what age did you decide that this was going to be your journey?
That's a great question. I was lucky enough to grow up in New York City and see a lot of theater. My grandparents were actually in the theater in Chicago, and then they brought their musical review show to New York and back in the '60s. So it sort of runs in the family, this love of performance and theater, and that sort of led me to make my first film, which actually began as a play called "I'm Obsessed with You." So yeah, that's sort of how it all began. I was also in an opera when I was 9 years old at Lincoln Center. So I've been in this business a while and enjoyed it, and it's unlike any other. And yeah, definitely this film in particular that I just made called Simchas and Sorrows, which is available now for purchase on Amazon and iTunes, among other outlets, is a love story set in New York City in Brooklyn, my hometown and where I currently live. So it's deeply personal to me.
I was going to ask you, is it autobiographical at all?
It is. It started that way. I always say it began that way and then sort of took on a life of its own, as these things often do. But yes, I enrolled in a exploring Judaism class with my now husband Ben when we were engaged. I was sort of skeptical of converting, and I ultimately didn't convert. But this class that we took at Central Synagogue was really informative and funny at the beginning, because it was just sort of this group of people who were kind of thrown together, um, and it became the comic parts of it were very apparent at the beginning, but it became more profound as we got to know each other, and the class sort of delved into those more uh, serious and deeper questions that religion poses, and with the various threats around the world to um, Jewish people and anti-Semitism, the troubling rise of anti-Semitism. It really made the class extremely topical and relevant and important. So we hope that the film balances that well as well. That was certainly something we were trying to uh, touch on.
And in between the time, Genevieve, that you were that young person that got to do that opera, and then until you did this, your own big project, you have so many beautiful accolades. Like you were directed by Jodie Foster in Money Monster. You were directed by Ang Lee. Like you said, I guess it's been in your on your journey the whole time, right? Is there any role that you played prior to this that you resonated with, that you felt like your work really mattered?
It's a great question. I worked with a French female director named Pascal Ferrand on actually the first film role I ever did when I was in my early 20s. And because I went to school after, I was in the opera when I was 9, but then basically my mom was like, you need to go to school. um, so I did that, and I went to Dartmouth College. And then after Dartmouth, I was lucky to get cast in this film, this French film that was just really poetic and beautiful. I played the role of Josh Charles's assistant, and it's a walk and talk scene. It was one scene, but it was really exciting for me to act with him and to work with this female director, Pascal, who was extremely intelligent, and the scene is just so beautifully written. So I'd say that part, the part of Caitlin in Bird People, was one of my uh, best experiences. And working with Ang Lee was pretty amazing. He's a great talent, a visionary. So I've been, yeah, incredibly fortunate.
Genevieve, I'm so happy for you and I'm so happy for your success. Were there challenging moments when you were doing this particular project, this film, because you were doing so many, you were wearing so many of the hats?
Completely. It's really, it's a lot of work to make an independent film, especially one that is truly independent like this one, where we had, a limited budget and a very short amount of time to film a lot of scenes with a lot of actors and a lot of locations. Because I tend to write things that, for better or worse, happen in many different places. So it was logistically very complex, and I couldn't have done it without the amazingly flexible actors that I got to work with. Julie Halston, who's a wonderful theater actress, and known for her work in film and television as well, but I've known her for a long time for her stage work, and she just was such a professional. I think she learned the dialogue so quickly, and she just jumped in. And there's so many examples of that. Chip Zine, John Cullum. We had people who were just real professionals and a delight to work with, who were very, very flexible and intrepid. So I felt very lucky to have such a great cast.
I believe it's nice when you have that support for one another. Do you have upcoming projects? Is there a project you're working on with one of your friends, or something else that you're looking forward to doing?
Yes, I was in a film called Cold Wallet, which I'm not sure where they're in post production right now, so I wrapped that. And that's a really exciting thriller about the crypto world, directed by Cutter Hodiern, who directed a film called Fishing Without Nets. I forget what year that was in, but he was really an interesting and lovely guy, and so that was a really fun project. We're actually working on 2 theater projects, so I'm hoping to get those up and running, soon. I'll stay tuned.
Well, I thank you so very, very much for being here, Genevieve. Thank you for spending this time with us. And I know that you did pick up distribution, which is also kind of difficult for independent filmmakers. And was it Gravitas? Who's distributing you?
Gravitas.
Great. I do thank you, and congratulations and continued success on your journey. I love the
Thank
fact
you
that
so
you were
much.
like born and bred here. It's super cool. And I wish you happiness and success.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's nice to visit with you.